Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, SSNIT Reserves depleting. Total income will no longer be sufficient to pay benefits by 2029. That's according to an ILO report. We have details plus analysis of how this could evolve into a key campaign promise as political parties begin to draft policies towards the polls in December. Also coming up, more business associations lament impact of current power outages. We hear from the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs.
I say this. I don't know where to start, but to be honest with you, these are all the small things that happen and businesses collapse. Today we had the launch of the Young Entrepreneurs Co-working Spaces. If not for fossil fuel and a generator, we wouldn't be able to do the program.
Also coming up, the Delta Airlines to fly new Airbus to Ghana as it rolls out non-stop service from Accra to New York effective October 27.
This is our latest technology and best product that we're bringing here in Ghana. So I think our customer will really love it. We're going to offer on this plane the 4 cabins that are really at the base of our premium experience.
My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. The International Labour Organization is projecting a complete depletion of SSNIT reserve by 2036. This was revealed in an actuarial valuation study of SSNIT contributions. According to the ILO, total income, including contributions, investment income, and other income, will no longer be sufficient to pay for annual expenditures, including benefit payment to pensioners by 2029. The findings come after more than a year of an excruciating domestic debt exchange program, which led to distortion of Ghana's local bonds market, which used to be a primary investment tool for SSNIT. Joining me for analysis is Joy News' lead data and research analyst, Isaac Kofieje. And thanks for joining us, Isaac. So let's start with the findings of this report by the ILO, Isaac.
Well, so just like you read in your intro, by 2036, reserves of SSNIT will hit 0. It simply means that if they are no longer collecting contributions or no investment or any form of income, it will be very, very difficult for SSNIT to pay the benefit. When will this start? Now, according to the ILO, this will start in 2029, and by 2036, the reserves will hit 0. Why is this happening? One of the key, determinants, or one of the key, reasons why we may have a SSNIT reserve hitting 0 by 2036 is the fact that they keep, having huge sums of money that are not being paid to them in terms of indebtedness. It's not just one sector, but if you look at the total indebtedness as of 2021, 9.95 billion Ghana cedis. Now, about more than 73% of this 9.93 billion Ghana cedis is from government in terms of the indebtedness. So government has not been able to pay their own contribution of 6.9 billion due to SSNIT. So you are looking at a total indebtedness as of 2021 of 9.35 billion and about 73.7% coming from government's own inability to pay what the SSNIT is due in 2027. So if you look at this factor and the fact that currently we know we are just coming from a domestic debt exchange program.
Right. And
usually when SSNIT collects the monies, it used to be, the bonds market used to be one of the places where they go and invest so that the money will grow. Because if you collect my, contributions and the money just lies down idle, by the time I go on retirement, inflation would have eaten almost everything and SSNIT will no longer be able to pay. So they need to find ways and means to, invest this money, and the local bonds market used to be one of the key sources. Now, that market is no longer there because of the DDEP that we actually did. So government not really doing it part of the bargain, and now SSNIT finding it difficult to find that security to invest in. So they say the late payment, in fact, that has led to the indebtedness always and all the time contributes or leads to about 1.3% of drop in investment returns. We are talking about SSNIT investing that money for you to be able to get the needed benefits. So if any late payment, whether due to government or any other person who is supposed to pay to SSNIT, doesn't come in, it means that investments will drop by 1.3%, and government will now shift, an important part of cost to the private sector by late payment. So when they are not able to pay, the blame will be shifted, or the cost will be shifted to the private sector, Daryl.
And we don't want our pensioners going through this.
Yeah.
I mean, in the wake of the domestic debt exchange program, we saw how they had to go and picket the finance ministry. Does the research have any recommendations to it?
Yeah, so one of the recommendations is that government must start paying what they owe SSNIT. That is because if you look at the total indebtedness as of 2021.
Are they in position to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 73.7, that's huge. 0.7% of the total indebtedness. It means if government now begins to pay, SSNIT will have that money to do the investment. And I don't know, we all know that they were able to get that sort of exclusion from the DDEP. Mm-hmm. But I do not know if they are getting the needed interest payments or coupons that are supposed to be paid on their investment. But the research is, one of the recommendations is that government must come in to pay what they owe SSNIT, and they must reduce the late payment to the scheme, because these monies are supposed to be invested for the future.
Well, and this is very worrying, Isaac. We've got, 9 months or 8 months?
Yeah, approximately 8 months, yeah.
Political parties are drafting their manifestos. Of course, you only appeal to the pensioners because they are part of the electorate. So how significant is this story in shaping the, if you like, the promises of the political parties in the lead up to the election?
Well, of course, I mean, pensioners are already worried, especially when they were promised 100% exclusion from the DDEP, and at one end they were included, they had to fight again and all of that. So maybe hearing this story, they will be a bit worried. So they may be looking at who is coming in to give us that sort of cushion that we need. And so if anybody is able to come up with a political campaign promise that will reduce the late payment to the SSNIT, and then also project some of some investment packages that will help SSNIT in terms of they getting the money to pay back the benefits, I'm sure that they will be interested. But at the moment, almost all, anybody who is 18 years and probably will be voting, maybe majority of them who are in the formal sector, pay SSNIT. And they will be worried. They will be looking out for somebody who can protect their end of service benefits. Because, I mean, the politicians get their ex gratia after 7. They are also hoping and praying that by the time it's their turn, SSNIT will not say that, I mean, I'm defaulting because I do not have the needed capital to pay.
And it's not just pensioners. I mean, 2036 is 12 years away.
Yes.
So anybody looking into the future wants a government that is concerned about what their future is going to be like. And so going forward, how can each of the political parties capitalize on this?
I mean, one other key aspect is how to revive the local bonds market. Because once you revive the local bonds market, then SSNIT will have a place to invest. Because right now, I mean, maybe short-term T-bills and all of that, but we know that there was some sort of undersubscription in the last one that they issued, because now interest rates or what government was using to attract investors now is coming down. And the fact that they are now being asked to hold the cash reserve ratio has been increased. So it means that even banks are no longer pushing their monies into T-bills. And I mean, the fact that interest rate is reducing means that in the short term, even if you invest, you may not get the magnitude that you used to get maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So any government that will come in with a very good plan to revive the bonds markets so that SSNIT can actually rely on that, I think will be a game changer.
This is a worrying story. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. We see how the government works to fix this, or any other political party that is interested in winning power in the elections ahead. Thank you. That's Isaac Kofieje, who is our lead data analyst here at Joy News. Well, let's talk about power supply issues, because more business associations are lamenting the impact of the current power outages The latest to do so is the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs. According to its CEO, Sherif Gali, many small and medium businesses face the risk of downsizing or folding up if the situation continues. He spoke to my colleague Isaac Atase-Nyako on the sidelines of the launch of the YEC Spaces, a co-working space created by the Chamber.
The power outages, how is that affecting you?
I say, I don't know where to start, but to be honest with you, these are all the small things that happen and businesses collapse. Today we had the launch of the Young Entrepreneurs Co-working Spaces. If not for fossil fuel and a generator, we wouldn't be able to do the program, because all of a sudden electricity went off. So when there's power outages, imagine a young person who runs a barbering shop, a young person who runs a cold store. How would they operate? I have a young person that called me from Tamale that there was something, I don't know whether it was an issue in their area, but the lights went off for like 3 days over tons of fish got spoiled. And nobody is going to support this person. Nobody is supporting. ECG will never own up and say that, okay, when we caused it and we want to get you back on your feet. So the person have to pay the loans they have taken. Where are they going to get the money to pay? All the fish went bad and he has to throw them away. So power outage, dollar rising against our city, fuel prices, inflation, hikes in product and services. Forget it. We are living in very hard times. And I will not sit here on your television to tell any young person that should be so happy and be jubilating, but we shouldn't lose hope. And we should all come together to support whatever we can do within our corner. I would always appreciate and preach the fact that let us be producing more than we consume.
Now, turning to air travel, Delta Airlines will fly a state-of-the-art Airbus A330-900 Neo on non-stop service from Accra to New York, JFK, effective the 27th of October 2024. The new aircraft will add approximately 30% more capacity between Ghana and the United States. Speaking to journalists in Accra, Senior Vice President of Europe, Middle East, Africa and India, Matteo Curcio, said the new aircraft will provide the most convenience and comfort for passengers.
Our latest technology and best product that we're bringing here in Ghana. So I think our customer will really love it. We're going to offer on this plane the 4 cabins that are really at the base of our premium experience. So we have our Delta One suite, which are our totally dedicated with door and direct aisle access for all the customer. We have our premium economy product, we have our comfort plus, and then of course we have our basic economy. So the passenger will love flying this new plane. And most importantly, this new plane will have over 60 seats more, 30% more capacity than the current plane. So which means that this aircraft will help develop the relationship between US and Ghana even further, in addition to cargo capabilities that are much stronger than the one that we have today. So it will help also the cargo ties and the trade between US and Ghana. We already offer free Wi-Fi domestically, but we're also announced already free Wi-Fi internationally, and that will come soon, I think at the beginning of 2025, and is another addition in terms of experience for the customer. The customer will appreciate that Delta is now the most on-time and reliable airline on the planet, so they can be confident that they can book Delta. They will be able to enjoy the best journey.
Managing country partner at Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Kujowusu, has said despite challenges associated with artificial intelligence, there is an urgent need to harness the facility towards the country's socio-economic development. He says the country should consider investing in AI to be able to take advantage of the emerging revolution currently sweeping across the globe. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the 2024 Ghana CEO Network.
Since its inception in 2016, the Ghana CEO Summit has emerged as the foremost gathering for influential figures including decision makers, CEOs, head of state, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. This year's summit is under the theme Reigniting Business and Economic Growth, Charting the Path Forward, Economic Diversification and Artificial Intelligence Transformation, a private public sector CEO dialogue, and high impact learning. Mr. Owusu called for more investment within the artificial intelligence space.
The next biggest thing that is changing everything we do is AI. So when you look at it, artificial intelligence, it looks a big word, but in fact already you see that it's already around and it's already running, and people are taking advantage of it. So what is artificial intelligence? It's using the knowledge to learn the things around you and to predict things. So you would have seen that even when you go on the internet now, you see the things that popped out around you are things that you have been going and things that you have been looking at in the past. That's what actually come around, and that's that AI in operation.
Country senior partner at PwC, Vish Ashiabo, called on sector players to work with policymakers to take advantage of AI.
Business essentially is about development. It's about the quality of life for all of our people. And we cannot achieve that alone as business people. We have to do so in partnership with policymakers, essentially government, regulators, etc., etc. So what is of great interest to us in respect of this summit and the work that the CEO Network does is that it provides a platform through which we can engage with policymakers based on real life data and real life insights as to what it is that will advance all of our causes.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graaf-Tejil, urged both the private and public sector players to harness the full potential of technological advancement.
The theme for the upcoming Ghana CEO Summit is reigniting growth. And here we mean business and economic growth and charting a path forward with focus on AI transformation and economic diversification. We believe these two pillars, through discussions, through idea sharing, will give us very good communique that can help Ghana chart a path forward. On the day, we are going to have 3 panel discussions, networking sessions, awards, and importantly, presentation by Corporate Ghana.
The 2024 Ghana CEO Summit is scheduled for May 27, 2024 at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel. The event will ignite discussions that will drive tangible progress and foster sustainable growth in our economy.
Now, the quality of local rice grains and brands in Ghana has been the bane of production upscale to meet the heavy demand of the commodity on the market. The country imports more than 60% of rice to meet local demand, as many local rice producers struggle to access the market despite the growing demand for rice. The United Nations International Development Organization, UNIDO, with this objective to improve the local rice industry and enhance food security, is equipping actors in the rice value chain with requisite post-harvest standard techniques. Here's more in this report.
Rice is the second most important staple food after maize in Ghana, but only a third of rice consumed is produced locally. Between $300 million and $500 million worth of rice are imported into the country each year. While Guinean production increased by over 12% within the last decade, consumption surged by 25%, resulting in continued dependency on imported rice.
Most of Ghanaians use the foreign rice. They like the foreign rice. Sometimes we go and give them the sample. They will cook it. Oh, it's very nice. But they have the perception that when we are coming, they brought them the good one. But I assume if the demand for more, we'll be bringing them maybe the bad one. Demand for our local rice is very, 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 very low. The demand for our local rice is very. As I'm speaking to, come to my warehouse, there's a chunk of paddy rice we are having over there. A lot of chunk. You can be there 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, sometimes even more than a year.
While the country aims at increasing local rice production, quality of the commodity is a concern to many of the local consumers. The United Nations Industrial Development Organization, realizing the existing need, is equipping actors along the rice value chain with the requisite skills and technology support. The project, dubbed Improving the Technology and Quality Control System for Higher Value Addition in the Post-Harvest Processes of Rice Value Chain, is in collaboration with the governments of Ghana and Japan. David Dakon is Capacity Building Coordinator at UNIDO.
The program is meant for very resourceful and dynamic agricultural officers and selected value chain actors who have so many years experience in training value chain actors. So the idea is that after the training, they are going to do cascade training or retrain their colleagues and also other actors so that we'll be able to, one, increase the quantity of rice, not just the quantity, but also the quality, so that we'll be able to, in a way, close the demand gap of rice.
In the Ashanti region, 60 agricultural officers and selected value chain actors in Bekwai and Ahafo North District were taken through post-harvest processes for high-grade rice qualities by the Ghana Standards Authority. Dr. Rosalind Amoa is the Chief Scientific Officer of the Food and Beverages Lab of GSA.
Every food has its own standard. So the standard for milled rice and for paddy rice, we are going to teach them the specification. So what's the moisture content? What are the various characteristics of the rice that you should look out for even if you are purchasing? Then we are going to look at a very important factor, grading of the rice grain. What is grading of the rice grain? That is sorting the rice grains into various parameters or various characteristics, which in the end is going to tell you whether this rice is of good quality, whether it is of grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4.
Some participants share the benefits gained from the workshop.
To get the quality rice out there, it has to start with a quality seed being put into the soil. And that is key. And it says that every step in the rice production is very important. That is why they are in also not just on the training, they're also providing equipment for the millers.
We have a lot of rice farmers and millers here, so we'll take this training to them for them to be able to benefit from this. It has really equipped us and increased our knowledge in the quality rice. And we know with time, if you are able to produce this quality rice, importation of rice will reduce, and then farmers' pockets will also increase.
You know, it's good for us to get into standards, to know standards. So if you are producing, you know, this is the standard nationally and internationally, so that you produce towards it. So I think the capacity building is in the right direction.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Branch Kweku.
Well, also in the news this afternoon, the government has been asked to act swiftly to redeem itself and the current bad image of state-owned enterprises. CSO, United Voices for Change, held a press conference in Kumasi under the theme State-Owned Enterprises at the Mercy of Looting Brigades. Heads must roll to address the losses that have beguiled SOEs, which have crippled the country's finances. The organization is blaming President Kwawu for the constant losses incurred by state enterprises. Sylvester Ronald is convener of the group.
Why are our SOEs continuously making losses? And our parliamentarians are also looking on. Ladies and gentlemen, however, the current state of affairs within these entities is unacceptable and requires immediate action, especially from our president, because, ladies and gentlemen, as the president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is the elected CEO. He is the elected CEO of all the Ghanaian state enterprises, and therefore his major responsibility and ultimate goal at this crucial moment is to ensure the smooth and successful running of these companies with high returns and at worst break even. But shockingly and surprisingly enough, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President, as the elected CEO, seemed to be celebrating and rewarding gross incompetence, total failure, and mismanagement of the company's resources by his appointees. And I asked this morning, what kind of CEO is our president?
Well, concerning the Ghana Cocoa Board, Ghana Water Company Limited, Electricity Company of Ghana, and the Ghana Airport Company Limited, the group demanded an immediate sack of the CEOs of these enterprises for what it says are colossal damages and astronomical debts incurred.
That we call for the dismissal of the CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Joseph Edu. Please, the Cocoa Board CEO, as a matter of agency, should be sacked. Electricity Company of Ghana, the one who said it's a privilege, should also be sacked. Ghana Company Limited, Ghana Water Company Limited, and Ghana Airport Company. These individuals have presided over a period of financial decline and recklessness and have failed to fulfill their mandate of ensuring profitability and revenue generation for the state. It is as a result of this clear TV, disrespect for Ghanaians, that Ghana, a country which was once upon a time revered and celebrated across the globe for its high moral standard and God-fearing nature, with so much peace, economic freedom, and easy access to employment, has today sadly turned into a gambling country.
All right, and that's it for the marketplace. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business, including we object to government's plans to make best offtake of Central Oil Refinery. That's according to CBOD. More stories on myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for watching.